As I record this, Kansas City is experiencing so much rain, I'm planning to book passage on an ark. Beside me is my pot of tea. I call my own YouTube videos Tea Time with Terry Ann because I like the idea of sitting here with you, conversationally sharing life. Who am I? I am a type A personality perfectionist with OCD tendencies, striving to become a recovering people pleaser. I know, that is quite a mouthful, but I wonder if you can relate personally or possibly know someone with similar qualities. My personal identity phrase is, I am a citizen of heaven, straining toward what is ahead, bearing witness of Christ while awaiting his return. I love to find ways to share God in simple things. For example, using my own journal entries, I created a knit and crochet Bible study, which I edited into individual devotional journals and published on Amazon. I have 2 books there. One uses various knit and crochet terms and stitches God's word into it. If you don't knit or crochet, you could read it and basically substitute any hobby that you do and still understand the effect of it. Now, the other book is about the Proverbs 31 woman and how each of us can be found in that woman. It is very important to remember the Proverbs 31 woman was not born into the woman described in the passage. She learned, she tried, she failed, she studied, and she grew into the woman that we read about. These books became a reality as I lay in bed, writhing in pain, and tried to detangle a skein of yarn. I realized my life was very much like that tangled mess. God used the pain, the journals, and returning to the yarn crafts as an opportunity for me to spend time with him. Today, I am a women's life coach. I specialize in helping women overcome self-doubt so that they may step into the unseen possibilities within themselves. I believe it is time to find the lies that we tell ourselves and replace them with God's truth. What kind of lies am I talking about? Well, some lies in my preparation for this podcast. I'm a nobody. Nobody wants to hear what I have to say. I am such a screw-up. Look at all my failures. I'll never be a success. Why should I even try? The camera doesn't like me. Stay away from it. And the list goes on. Can you relate? What lies do you tell yourself? What do you see when you look in the mirror? To explore this idea, I created an acronym of the word lies. L-I-E-S. The L is for look. Look at the lie with clarity. For the I, inspect. Inspect the intent. E is examine. Examine the truth. And S is speak. It encourages us to speak the truth. Now, there isn't enough time in this podcast to cover all the areas of the word lies. I would like to spend a few moments talking a little bit about the first step. That's where it all begins, step 1. First, we have to look for and recognize the lies that we tell ourselves. When we speak lies to ourselves, it's like we're wearing blinders. This is all we can see. We need to find ways to expand our vision. We must therefore look with clarity. One summer afternoon, sitting on my back deck, I found the perfect story to illustrate this. A friend and I were sitting on the deck, drinking iced tea, catching up on each other's lives. when she mentioned the beautiful yellow roses in my backyard. Well, I looked back there. Yes, I had planted roses all along the back fence, but they were red. I dismissed it as she just misspoke and continued the conversation. A short time later, she again commented on the beautiful yellow roses. Well, now I was really confused. What was she looking at? I asked her if she wanted to see them up close, thinking maybe she could take me to something that I clearly could not see. We walked to the back fence and leaned down to the red roses and sniffed. Oh, they smelled so nice. I asked her what color they were. She responded, yellow? She was very confused as to my question. Again, I glanced down and I saw we were looking at the exact same rose. We were looking at the same thing, and yet we saw two different colors. I searched her face. I asked her to take off her sunglasses. When she did, she exclaimed, oh my gosh, they're red. The amber tint on her sunglasses was so deep, it totally changed the color of what she was looking at. We were each looking at the same rose, seeing two entirely different colors. We each saw a truth, yet one of the truths was a lie. Now, I find that is often the case in many of life's situations. How often do we look at a person, a situation, a perceived truth, only to find that what we believed as truth was actually a lie? So I use this analogy to help women look at the lies that they're telling themselves. We work to change the lens being used to look at the lies so that the real truth may prevail. Perspective is at the core of many of the lies and fears that we put on ourselves. Joshua and Caleb met the same issue in Numbers chapters 13 and 14. God has prepared the Israelites to take this land that he's promised them. Moses sent out 12 scouts to check the area. 2 of them were Caleb and Joshua. The 12 scouts went and surveyed the land. All 12 scouts saw the same thing. Yet when they reported back, they had different views. All reported that the country was bountiful. It would surely sustain their people. But then 10 of the scouts shared that they felt that the people they saw living there were giants. And the town was well fortified. There was no way that they could ever enter that land. Now, 2 of the scouts, Caleb and Joshua, believed that God was with them and that they could take this land. They all looked at the same view, but each reported back from a different perspective, one of fear, one in faith. The people chose to take the word of those whose perspective was that of fear and anguish. Though God promised them this reward, the perspective they chose kept them away from the prize. We experience the same thing every day. Perhaps we hold on to a negative comment from a loved one. We see impossibility due to the multitude of social media posts. We place our trust in the negativity of others, and when we do, we lose out on the treasure awaiting us. What do you see when you look in the mirror? Some comments I've heard others say, and I've even said to myself, I'm ugly. I'm dumb. No one loves me. And what difference does it make? They're just words, right? No big deal. James Allen, in As a Man Thinketh, writes, all that you accomplish or fail to accomplish with your life is the direct result of your thoughts. You are today where your thoughts have brought you, and you will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you. Thoughts lead to action. Action leads to a habit. Habits lead to a lifestyle. Everything starts with your thought, your self-talk. What does God see when he looks at you? Psalm 139:14 tells us that we are beautiful and wonderfully made. In Genesis 1:27, we see that we are made in the image of God. And then in verse 31, he looked at all that he had created, and it was good. In Jeremiah 1:5, God knew us before we were formed in the womb. And my favorite, Ephesians 2:10, we are God's masterpiece. I am God's masterpiece. You are God's masterpiece. How does God's voice differ from your voice? In his book, Crash the Chatterbox, Stephen Furtick says, the voice you believe will determine the future you experience. Whose voice are you believing? We have to clear away the lies and change our perspective so that we can see the truth. I like the way Philippians 3:15 is worded in the Message. It says, so let's keep focused on that goal, those of us who want everything God has for us. If any of you have something else in mind, something less than total commitment, God will clear your blurred vision. You will see it yet. God will clear your blurred vision. Clear your vision and see what is true. Well, that's just a quick overview of the L of lies. Once you have L, looked with clarity, you need to I, inspect the intent. What's the intent of that lie? What's it leading me to? E, examine the truth. And then S, speak the truth. How is negative self-talk affecting your life, your work, your relationship? What would change if your self-talk changed? I work with women one-on-one to examine their self-talk, to call out the lies they live, to find the courage to conquer those lies, allowing them to live a more happy and productive life. I also work with women in a group setting to do the same. I host 6-week online courses looking at defeating the lies of negative self-talk. Check out my website, lifecoachta.com, for details. Sign up for my newsletter. I would love to come alongside you and help you find and defeat your lies and the negative self-talk. Join me on Facebook. Facebook page is named Life Coach TA. Share your thoughts on this discussion. I'd like to close with Galatians chapter 5, verses 7 and 8 about those lies. You were running a good race. Who cut in on you to keep you from the truth? Well, that kind of persuasion does not come from the one who calls you. No, God called you to live in truth. It is time to defeat the lies of negative self-talk.